Bullet Train, Brad Pitt, shenanigans ensue, a heist on a train, action on just a train. It had some moments and things that looked like it was going to be really good, and I just couldn't get to the theater to see it. Kept putting it off. Watched it, didn't do a review. I'm going to watch it again, and then I'm going to record a review. Some of you have asked for this. Let me get this to you right now. Um, I got to be honest. I was having fun with this movie. It is not bad. You're going to have a good time. I think everything about it is driven by interesting characters. The problem in the movie is it's just too long. It's a little over 2 hours long. It just kind of has a lot of elements that are just strung out. So this is the same kind of problem that I see with mostly when I talk about trimming a movie down. I do not mean even having to cut whole chunks of the film out per se, even though that can be the case in some movies. In this case, it's more like 10 minutes could have been 8, 5 minutes could have been 3.5. This could have been in the third act, really just kind of lingers on that kind of thing. Um, Brad Pitt, we'll bring him up. Let's just take a look. So, Brad Pitt's character, I don't know. I had my mixed feelings about Brad Pitt's character. It's sort of like this odd pacifist character, doesn't want to use a gun. He's like super skilled spy guy. They have an intrigue situation. Everyone's going to kind of converge on this train. A lot of nicknames and things like that center around this character called White Death. He's got a son that's, there's a kid in ICU. There's this other hitmen. They're like a brothers called Lemon and Tangerine, which is Aaron Taylor Johnson and Brian Tyree Henry, who are probably some of the best parts of the whole thing. They're there to protect this Russian oligarch son. He gets killed. Then there's Joey King. Tons of characters and some interesting elements in the movie, and it is definitely fun. It's very loosey goosey, kind of silly. There's this actual snake at one point. And I will say this a lot. I don't exactly even know exactly what this word means in the grand scheme of some stuff, but bear with me. It's stylish, right? It has a lot of elements that are very interesting that make me like it. So this is directed by David Leach, David Leach, who's tied to the John Wick franchise. So it's got a lot of that, a lot of interesting choreography with some of the fight scenes and some of the elements. I think are done pretty well. Some of the gags and stuff just don't work, right? So this gag is played up for like the quiet car. Then they have like the librarian gag, which has been overplayed and doesn't work. So they show some different sequences that are cut out of order and stuff. So again, I've always said Sony is one of the worst offenders at spoiling their movies. I remember seeing the Bullet Train trailer in the theater, but I don't remember enough of it that I felt spoiled. But had you, I can see why you would have not necessarily liked the film as much. But like I said, a lot of great colors and different interesting with the sets and things like that kind of enhance the world that the train is in. So you're not just you do spend almost all the film on the train, but there's a lot of other elements. There's a couple of stops where we have some incidents and some moments that are outside the train, which are good before we get to the end. And again, I think just interesting characters. You almost have sort of like a Tarantino approach to creating characters. It's not just here's strong little girl, she's just going to beat everybody up, or here's the Asian cliche and here's Brad Pitt going to save the day, things like that. So you get some cool backstory and some different things that happen and why. And you also have, and again, his character is so odd and quirky. I don't know how I feel about him because it's almost like a Get Smart type thing where he unwittingly goes through some of these circumstances and overcomes, but it's not that cheeky or silly or anything like that. So yeah, but some of the moments are played great. They pause a fight scene around one of the train workers, which was kind of dumb. I didn't care for any of that. Yeah, this trailer showed way too much of this fight sequence, and this is at the very end of the film. There's some cut flashbacks, so it's all very intercut to throw you off balance of what actually happens in the movie. Yeah, another assassin shows up. Lots of shenanigans. So the third act gets like crazy because then you are away from the train and it does become like how over the top are they going to go? And I think it's David Leitch he's got like John Wick syndrome where it's like always go a little bit further. Yeah, this is the cheeky gag where it's like it's just played for kind of a silliness because she's there. I didn't care for that. So the writer is Zach Olkowitz, who did Last Voyager of Demeter, which I've heard mixed reviews on. So I can feel like he's getting things right, but not complete, right? I didn't care for Sandra Bullock's character. It's Ladybug. Like her over the phone in a voice was fine. Her showing up and saving or being relevant to the, saving the day kind of moment. I didn't like any of that. Um, yeah, I don't know. Um, there are tons of woke moments, like the God hates me, no, she doesn't, mansplaining comments, things like that. Um, the Channing Tatum scene. Okay, so Channing Tatum has a cameo. Oh, Channing Tatum. It is want to make a quick, easy $200. And it's like, this is a sex thing. And then Tangerine showing up. And it's like, this is a sex thing. It's like they just kept going with some of these jokes. And maybe that's fine for you. Maybe you loved it. I don't know. I personally just like, whatever. Um, I think it's just long. It's way too long. The backstory flashback stuff, I thought just mess up with the pacing. Doesn't it's just there's a lot of wasted dead time, right? Um, there's a musical morning time for Tangerine that was just done. Just a lot of wasted time. Um, but going to say probably in the neighborhood of like, 2.5 stars. Like it was an okay time, and I wouldn't be opposed to having it on again. I'm not saying I'm going to go out of my way to watch it again, but it would be there's nothing really massively off-putting about the film. It's digestible, it's fun. I wouldn't be opposed to it just being on. I'm not going to go out of my way to track it down or anything like that. So that's my take on it. Hopefully, those of you that request, I know Dean Krantz, you're on my list of one of the ones that asked for this. Hopefully, you can tell me what you guys think. I appreciate it so much. Take care, everybody. I am Pops.
Yeah.